Live. Oh, here it is. Boom. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. Here we go back again with a building stuff series session. And so for the most part, as you've seen with the title of this particular building stuff series session, I'm trying to do some remediation on my Salesforce code scan findings that I had the previous day. So I'm gonna be working on that today. So sit tight and enjoy some remediation that is highly needed in the community. And this is where you're gonna learn your best practices in regards to coding, like everything in regards to best practices and how certain code stuff looks. Usually, really senior programmers use this stuff in order to structure out their codes and make sure they check for particular things to have the code looking like pretty much to the form of like pristine. Pretty much you're like, yo, this is some well documented, well or in unused variables in there and all that stuff. It's like it's really clean. So this is where you get really good at coding. You get to learn all these different things of what could make your code look way better, what can make best practices in like in regards to all the things you need to implement in your code, such as documentation, removing debug logs, and so on and so on. So let's get into that now. I gotta finish setting up some stuff. My code scan. I don't think I set it up right. Just having a tough time right now. I can't bring my VS Code. Let's look at some code scan stuff. That's what I really want to look at right now. Because I'm gonna be looking at what I had previously on my code scan that I did the day before. And a lot of it is just documentation pieces. So I'm gonna just like write documentation for my code. And I think the next day what I'm gonna do as well is set up a get action once I do a push to the main. I'm gonna send it to my package for so that's gonna be really cool. So that's gonna be using GitHub Actions and Accumulate CI to do all that awesome stuff, which is pretty interesting because I'm trying to think. It's like, yo, I don't really need Cumulus to do that. So what's the point of Cumulus in my whole entire org or in my whole entire repository? So that would be the question. And I think I'm gonna have to get like the access token in regards to the org so I can be able to deploy to that org to do it from a GitHub action container. So we got to set up that environment variable and whatever to do that. And it's gonna be a nice little thing. It's like the less things I actually have to do by hand, the better. It's like it's gonna make me more efficient, more productive. And this is pretty much the whole idea of like someone who's working on like senior or doing DevOps is like, how can I make the process so efficient where there's minimum hands in there where they don't have to worry about different things. So a lot of people are scared like of automation pieces because it's like, yo, that's my job. It's like, no, it's not really. It's like it's gonna make it way more efficient. And if we can improve our process to make it more efficient where we don't have to deploy it manually ourselves, that's even better for us. And like thinking out like previous projects and current projects and stuff like that I'm working on, it's like this would be super helpful in our process. And I think I already know how to fix some pieces of previous projects and current projects with stuff with the automation pieces after it gets pushed into a certain branch, like main or master or develop. Whenever those particular things happen, we can do a YAML script that essentially do all the things in regards to deploying all the recent stuff that got pushed into the org that you wanted to push it to. So it's gonna be super helpful. And all that awesome stuff. 1 second. Give me. All right, so back again. All right, so all right, let me double check, see what you guys are doing, see if you're doing great up in here. Looks like you guys are doing great. So there's no one here. But pretty soon, I know people are coming in late doing different stuff. So I'm gonna wait for them. I'm gonna put my chat on the side so I can, see it whenever I need to. All right, good to go. Cool. Now, what I want to look at was the GitHub action stuff. So I did a scan the other day, and I want to check that scan on my repo. Here's the checks, and I want to get the details of it. So I run a scanner right here, and now I have all this awesomeness here. So I print it out to get to see what the particular description, the category, and then it gives me the URL to that resource on what I need to do. It also gives me the line in which the class that is referring to add that particular stuff or remove those particular things. So this is gonna be super helpful. So I have roughly around yeah, a decent amount. Like the ones I might not be worried about too much is this one. I might be completely fine with these staying how they are. Except for this one. This might need something else. Oh no, I might just keep these as it is. I might not even worry about this. I wonder if I can suppress it somehow. All right. Cool. I think I haven't did this in a while, but there is like a little shortcut that helps you write the documentation pieces out really easily. So that's gonna be helpful. Ooh, I have hard code errors in here. That's bad. What I'm hard coding up in this thing. Now I gotta check that out. Oh yeah, I still didn't set up my VS Code yet, so let me fix that. Okay. Um, did I hard code something? 73. I did. Uh, it's not a problem, but I'm gonna remove it. I'm just gonna show you how I remove this remediation error, this particular finding, just for the sake of, yeah, just removing it. It's not a big problem. It's actually doing exactly what it needs to do. It's just some kind of random ID that's other than another ID that I specify in my logic. So yeah, this is completely fine. But I'm gonna show you exactly how I will remove it just for the sake of this code scan. All right, going back to the code scan. Ooh, another thing I want to do is try to remove this audio thing because I want to move away from the audio piece because I want to listen to some music while I'm doing this. Because I don't want no copyright strikes. Okay. Close. Just checking on my audio pieces to make sure they're all down. What happened to my VS Code? See, this is a bug that continues to happen to me for some reason. Don't know why. Nas up. Weird. So weird. Okay. So let's start from the top. Documentation. So pretty much all my handler classes need documentation. All my other classes, let's see, is it referring to the test classes too? Yes, yes they are. Need test class documentation, or maybe not. So it's not really worried about the test class documentation, just mainly the handler class documentation. So that's cool. All right, so let me do that. Let's see what kind of format they're looking for. So anything of this particular format will make it look great, and it'll start throwing these particular findings. And these are just warnings. Like I said, these aren't really big ones. The hard-coded ones are, that's a pretty big one, but in the test class, it's not a big issue. Put on some jams. I think it's like a command that makes you automatically do it. I forgot what it's called. It's some kind of command that automatically makes you set up the discretion piece. So how do you do that command? What's the command in VS Code to automatically set up descriptions for classes and methods? See, I was trying to use tab before, but I didn't think that was it. I don't know if this, I mean, this is code completion for like a particular like selection or property. I don't know if this is like what I'm really trying to do right now. I'm just trying to write out descriptions easily. I want to like speed up that process because it'll be super easy. I'm gonna try this whole control space thing to see if that's actually gonna work. All right, so all right, so that's the control space. Yeah, not exactly what I'm looking for. All right, I already went over this already. I'm gonna do this command real quick and see if that's actually something I need. Yeah, object definitions, standard objects. So that's really cool. That's actually pretty tight. You can now preview and view or go to definitions of user defined apex and standard objects. But that's actually really sweet. I need to remember that. See, I learned something new in this stream. So let's see if you see what I'm seeing. Control F and then like refresh whatever it said. Object definitions. And just say all of them. So I'm actually going to show you an example how this should work. All right, sweet. So now if I go here, do CapEx, then I do this, then Control Shift, should give me all the different properties that I have on my object. So like this is definitely one of them. Actually, no, that's just the object. So investment is one of them. Yeah, roof and all that. That's one of them. Shoe. That's another one. It takes a lot to get there, but it's there. Like this stuff doesn't make sense right here. But like if I was to do years or something like that, it gives me all my different fields that's supposed to be there. So that's great. The same thing with, let's see, if I was to define another object that I have operating expense, then an expense, that, new, then give me my suggestions. See, what other operating expenses are there? And see, let's get record type. Do I have record type on this? Should have record type on this. I guess you can't get the record type of an object that you're creating. I don't know. I should be able to define a record type for this. So not exactly sure why the record type is not showing up here. Should be like a field that's on the object. Owner field should be on their object too. Don't see that. I see that. That's great. Yeah, monthly. That's great. That's there, but there's some other fields I'm missing there. So it works somewhat. Save this so I can just revert it back. I must have the old version of Git because this Git checkout thing, that's like the old thing. I need to really update my Git. So yeah, Git update has been on Windows. All right. Yeah, see, my thing is super outdated. Let me double check. Let me do that real quick. Just updating my Git chat. Oh, but all right. I really want to get into this piece where I need to figure out the whole documentation piece. So I used to do this a lot in Java. I never really did it in Apex yet. Maybe there's some kind of extension for it. But while like spending all this time trying to figure out how to do it, I can just literally copy and paste from that from that little thing that told me like this thing. I should have just copy and pasted. But it's so much. There's better tools out there to do it. I just want to do it properly and have it nice and neat the first time rather than me putting it in myself.
Are you bad in mathematics?
What? Oh my gosh. Kid playing games on my phone. All right, here we go. Now I won't miss your chats. Chat. Okay. Uh, I just need to read this telesense thing. I want to say it's as simple as writing the forward slash star and at sign documentation or at sign description. That should auto complete it. So let me try that real quick. It's been so long since I did that. In control space. I guess no suggestions. Oh, at sign. Jeez. Oh, here we go. I think we're getting somewhere. Let's see. Do at sign description. Let's see if that does it. Nope. Uh, all right, so that was one piece of it, but I know it's a command that does this. It's probably like one of these things right here. No. Interface, nope. Method, nope. Well, that's cool. That'll make it so much easier to write my test classes because sometimes I'd be like, yo, how you write up your test methods? Like, I keep on forgetting. I just got to reference another test method. But I really don't try to remember nothing, chat. I really don't. I just know how to find it. But now, I really don't know how to find this. I believe it's a setting here. Let's see. Open documentation, help documentation. This might be it. This might be it. I can't double check this is it. Workbench action, open documentation URL. Nah, that's not it. I don't think so. It's like something completely different. Autocomplete. Auto suggest. All right. Apex documentation. I'm looking everywhere for this. Boom. Hopefully this is it. All right. Not too many. I got a couple of downloads. You know what I'm saying? They're doing good out here. All right. Boom. That's what I need. That's all I need. Insert. Bam. Yo. If this is what I need, this is what's up. I'm just gonna install this because I'm tired of looking for it. I know. I know it's out there. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Do that again. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice. Because I also want documentation for like licensing and stuff, I guess. All right, let's see how this works. All right, you got your commands, so I can do automatically insert headers and stuff. And then insert file header, insert at the top of the current file if it doesn't already include one. Sweet. Ooh, set up the properties for this too. That's gonna be nice. So username that will appear in the file and all that great stuff. And then date, the format, the date kind of stuff. That's good. Cool. Enable automatically on save, file header, insertions, and update for that. Ooh, that's actually really nice. It's like if I change something, then it'll automatically update it. Oh my goodness. I'm about to. God dang. Automatically on save. Insertion update. Ooh, that's gonna be really nice. Godly. All right, I gotta add this one for sure. All right, let's see. Hmm, already added on there. Nice. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay, that's nice. All right, go back to the extension. What else? All right, move this out of the way. See what other things I got on here. On, off, no. I could do the month and line. That'd be great. What's the other property for the username and all that stuff? That's what I really want. Says the file method username. Change me and the user is under dog. Okay. Mm. Could it's like with his name when generating it. All right. Clue modification. All right. So let's let's see what happens when I save this file. Ooh, this is nice. This is really nice. I'm so excited. All right, cool. All right, so this is the capital expenditure. Now I have the option of adding some documentation here. No, insert file header. There's I wanna do this with the method. Oh, method header. Bam. Exactly. Documentation thing I had. Um, the only thing would be even better if I can do a shortcut where I don't have to do the right click piece. Instead of doing all this right click, left click, select. All right. All right, that looks great, looking good. Description, write a description. This method handles before insert context. All right, that's good. We got a little tool that was gonna help us out streamline this whole entire process, which is great. I think I need that at group thing. It's cool. So I wonder if I can get rid of that little parameter so I don't have to like delete it itself. I don't think I need, these. Let's see. Yeah, they don't really need like documentation, but I could add it. Yeah, so I'm gonna add it. Mhm. All right. Might seem like the boring part, chat, but this is very essential. Very essential. We need these things. Got a couple more to go. thought about something. Oh, that's the test method. Okay. It's like, do I not have this? Actually, yeah, it does calculate before an update. Yeah. Where actually, I don't know why I did that. should be it with the documentation piece. So I go back to the scan. All of these should be fixed pretty soon when I do a push to this pull request. Now the other ones I need to get rid of is some of these debug log stuff. And that's pretty much it, the debug log stuff. System debug log. Got a couple of them here and the hard coded one. Yeah, I'm gonna show you how I get rid of that one like I just showed before. Ooh, what's this one? Oh, I got a couple of hard codeds. What am I doing now here? Mm-mm-mm. God dang. Okay, I got a couple. Let's handle the debug ones first. So, in my line 42, all right. Yeah, I can get rid of this one. It's not needed. Actually, let me see all where is this like reference? Because I'm pretty sure it's everywhere. Yep. All right. All of those should be fixed now. Hmm. Good. 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 All right. So finish that one. Quick fix. Now going back to scan thing. All right. That might be another one that I might be missing here. It would be a shame if I missed it. I think it's like this one because all of these seem like so. Let me double check these real quick. Pretty sure they are some other ones that I was just doing some debugging on. Or how about this? See all reference to debug. Quite a few. Quite a few. Okay, let me get rid of these. Yo, I know I don't do too much coding at my job as much. Like I thought I did very minimal coding before at some previous jobs, but like my last job at IBM, did a lot of contracts and stuff. I was coding like crazy. And I was like the most contracts I was well, most projects I was working at one time was 4. I don't know how it was sustainable, but somehow I sustained it. I'm not worried about this one. Actually, I can just delete this file. I don't even know why he's in. Why is even here? So I'm gonna delete this file. Save my other ones. I would not save my files for some reason. I'm gonna delete this. Can I delete it? All right. Remove. All right, we're good with that. Now we need to get into the hard coding stuff. So to avoid hard coding IDs. So I'm going to show you how I would fix this. And these are just mostly in the test classes, so I'm not really worried about these too much. Unit tests should have at least one what? Assertion? I don't have an assertion on this unit class? Okay. Ooh, okay. Hey, yo, what's up? Ta- Tarada? Tarada, wave. Do you improve when you code that much or did it burn you out? Doing the whole IBM stuff, the maximum amount of projects that I was working in one time was like 4 projects at a time. So the cool thing about this was the they had like certain capacity that you can work within a week. So like if I was working on one project, it could be like a major project I was working on. I will be allocated like 15 hours a week to work on that project. And then the other projects, like project number two, will be like 15 hours on that one. But then there's some other smaller projects that were mostly ad hoc and they just wanted a coder perspective or like a lead to be able to look at other developers' work to just like quickly, solution it out and review some work. So that would be like the remaining 10 hours for the for the whole entire week because the maximum hours I'll be able to max out for his contracts was 40 hours. So 15 hours for the first one, 15 hours for another one, 5 hours for another one, and 5 hours for another one. And most of those 5 hours were spent in meetings and an hour just looking at solutioning. So it really got me into the play of allocating my time and focusing on just spending that amount of time within a week when I was working on the 4 projects. But it was only for like I think it was like 3 months that had this 4 project max. The other time, most of the time, I had either 2 or 3 projects at a time. But you can definitely burn out for sure if you overextend yourself. And what I mean by that is sometimes whenever we get into development work, we feel overconfident whenever we're estimating work. And most of the time when I was working on these projects that had like 15 hours by 15 hours and stuff, I was pretty much the lead developer on that project. So I will be solutioning out that work before I start working on it, saying, hey, this is going to take me 8 hours to do within a week, or it's going to take me 8 hours. And because mostly in consulting, they do everything by hours. So I'm going to say it's going to take me 8 hours to do this. And, but see, I can fight back and say, hey, this actually is going to take me like 40 hours to do, right? And so keep in mind, I'm only able to fit 15 hours in a week on working on that for that project. So project managers like they're really tough in some instance and like you said it's going to take 40 hours and stuff like that. That's like yeah, if we were saying it's going to take 40 hours, maybe we need to split this up into smaller chunks that can be delivered. So that's how I kind of like play it. So when you work in consulting, you have that right to say, hey, because you most of the time you might be the only developer on there. You might have a lead developer working with you, but during that time, I was like the lead developer on all the projects I was working on, except for one project. It was one project I wasn't a lead developer on. So um I yeah, and that's when I was relying on a lead developer for the estimates per se, which is kind of like wrong in regards to like how we're doing Scrum, because both like the developer and the lead developer that does the solutioning, they should be both playing out the estimate and how long it's gonna take, right? So the developer who's given the story, even that the story is solution and estimated by the lead developer, you will want that developer who's working on it to fully understand what is entitled and what's encompasses of doing that work. Because what happens is a lead developer can estimate and say, yeah, it's going to take me this amount of time. This is going to take me like 4 hours. But a developer that's working on it is like, hey, I came across this, and that. And like estimates aren't like fully accurate. Yeah, I completely understand that. So that's like one of the issues that I came across when I was working with like a lead developer that was working on that project. He might, estimate it based off of how he was doing it. And to be honest, I think it was like, I don't know, the numbers didn't make sense to me. In probably like one instance, it was only one instance, and I was like, yo, this is gonna take entirely too long to do, and it required me to turn some flow logic stuff into into Apex, because sometimes there might be an instance where we want to completely trash the flow entirely, because flow is just point and click, and there need to be some logic, some robustness to allow some more complexity that a flow pretty much can't do, and Apex can definitely do it. And in that particular case, it was this huge flow that needed to be transferred into Apex. So that's going to take some work. Whenever you transferring something that is declarative to something that's going to be custom code, you can assume that it's going to essentially take twice as much as work, because one, you have to write out the logic. Two, you're also going to write out the test class to make sure your code coverage is set up, because whenever you push, oh, disconnected, reconnected. All right, hopefully you're still hearing me. All right, my OBS just reconnected, so there was a short pause there. So just like whenever I was doing that, I kept in mind that in my head, let me overestimate and also break things down when it gets to a certain amount of capacity throughout the week. And if it's gonna take, like, if our sprints, like for example, is like two weeks, right, to deliver something, and I only have like 15 hours, the most amount of work I can do within one particular project, if I have 15 hours per week for that project, is I would make sure I keep it under 30 hours. So I would say the maximum I can do is 25 hours, and leave room for error just in case I need to do additional stuff. So yeah. Awesome. So hopefully that answered your question. There was some burnout. The main burnout was mainly the appreciation of work for the most part, because I love to do the work. Um, there was this one, I think I talked about it in one of my videos. When it pretty much like I do a reflection of the year, and it was like towards 2022, I did a video of my journey of the software engineering journey, and I was essentially talking about that. I I was having like pretty much like a tough week, a tough like couple of weeks, like cascading weeks, and it was because mainly of that, and and for the most part, it's like the way I got out of that is because I had someone help me look at a different perspective and how to look at it, and I was able to come out of that funk. And for the most part, you got to take your breaks whenever you need to. That, and also kind of re-energize after you take your breaks and come back to it. So hopefully I answer your question, Tarada Wave. I really appreciate it. But yeah, burnout is definitely real for me. For the most part, it usually comes from an appreciation standpoint. Um, Whether I'm doing something wrong, doing something right. It's like if I'm doing something wrong, I like the feedback, but present it to me in a way so I can be better, right? Constructive feedback. Like, how can I do better next time around, or something like that. Still here. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you for coming through. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming through. So yeah, as you can see, like today, what I'm doing is doing some remediation stuff, and pretty soon you're gonna see this scan that I've been looking at, which is a scan that I set up on my GitHub Actions to scan my code for Apex and also JavaScript stuff. So pretty much all these are gonna be essentially gone. The ones I'm not really worried about too much are these files down here. Not too worried about those, but as you can see, I have 35 violations on across like 6 files and some other stuff, and that's as regards to the Apex, and this is the JavaScript stuff. But great question, Tarada Wave. That is a really great question. Thank you for answering, asking that. All right. Now this is crazy. I don't remember not putting an assertion on one of my classes. Oh, and another thing which reminds me that I improved during that time. I did. I improved so much. And I already talked about it. So I talked about like understanding my capacity and understanding how long something might actually take. Like consulting, if when you get really into it, it will really help how you estimate things. And now when I'm doing estimates now for like a larger team, I'm actually working on I don't know why I put myself in these situations. Well, I'm working on 2 teams at a time as a solution architect. And usually everyone just has 1 team. I got 2 teams, right? 2 teams, okay? And not only that, I'm also helping with the continuous integration and continuous deployment pieces. So I'm helping people understand how to use Git, and then also helping with improving the process of how we're going to be setting up the automatically deploying our code once it gets pushed to a certain branch to a new environment. So this is the whole point of like me doing some of this building stuff, series stuff, so I can continue to learn, so I can be able to implement it for the team that I'm working on. So like for example, like code remediation is one of those things. And one of the things I just learned in this particular building stuff series sessions was the whole documentation piece, which is not like a really big piece, but as you can see, is like you can get a lot of documentation issues. Especially one of the things that comes up a lot is like people leaving their debug logs into their code and it's not needed. So there's a code remediation for this, and they say like it's I guess it's a medium, right? It's a medium priority because typically what happens is laws can be read and all this other stuff. Things can be leaked, so they want you to do certain things. Like for example, like this is better rather than just like something simple like this. And apparently, this is not good when on restrict mode. So yeah. So they want me to do these type of things, but for the most part I don't need these things. Yeah, like if I do want to add my debug logs, I add them, but I'm just gonna remove them so I can get rid of like the the code scan stuff. Yep, and that's pretty much it. So a lot of improvement. Did a lot of coding, did a lot of stuff. I'd say one of the things I improved on a lot during that time was the front end development and the Lightning Web components. Did a lot of Lightning Web component stuff, which I'm gonna probably do on this stream as well, for my deal analysis app because I want to build out a mortgage rate calculator. And yeah, for the most part, it's gonna need some custom code to do that. I could possibly do that with a Lightning ScreenFlow, but I like the whole fact of doing it in the Lightning Web component to make it customizable and like condition and render and stuff. So switch between like different things. So it's gonna essentially look something like this at the end of the day. So like be able to switch a switch and then repopulate and do this kind of stuff. And then have like the cool stuff like this on the side. So I'm really challenging myself to build this out because yeah, I don't usually do front end development like that. I can do it. It's just I'd rather do integration, backend stuff, and automation stuff. Like that's the stuff I really like to do. Um, this is like challenge myself because I don't do it all the time. So when I talk to other front end developers who are doing front end stuff, hey, you can actually do it this way to improve it like that and all that stuff. And they might actually teach me something. I just consume it in because I'm not too high and mighty to say, hey, I know everything. Like CSS is not my favorite language. I still probably can't like on top of my head write CSS. I would probably just, do what I need to do in regards to some out of the box bootstrap or a framework that does all the layout and stuff for me because I wouldn't want to write the CSS myself. I won't trust myself. But yeah. All right, so let's get back into it. So I got rid of the debug logs. So I mean, it was telling me I should specify a logging. So I don't need to do it. I got rid of them. I don't really need to do that. The other thing I want to do is get rid of these hard code stuff. So this one is in this one. Okay. Where's the hard coded stuff? Oh yeah, that's right. Wait, did it say it's on another line 38? Huh? Oh, now I'm confused. I don't see this thing. Maybe I deleted something. All right. I want to say it's talking about this one. Income handler. Okay. All right. So Torado Wave started to learn to code 3 months ago. Trying to focus on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I also hate CSS, but the challenge is interesting. Yeah. And I would tell you this: keep working at it and learn learn the best practice of it because there's so many different ways to go about CSS. Um, and once you know like the initial framework up behind it, like I think it's like box and grid and all those other things, you you should get it. Like for me, it's not clicking yet. It's been like well over 10 years. I haven't really tried to really click CSS because I will probably use something out of the box, such as like a bootstrap to do the do the layout and all that stuff for me. That's why I usually typically go with, or use some type of templating, or use a copying and a pasting of something that was gonna fit the needs to it, and then customize it from there. So I do a lot of that with CSS, but yeah, keep going with it. If you get really good with the vanilla, then the framework stuff will definitely start making more sense to you. So yeah, it's gonna be really great. So vanilla CSS, and then use a framework to speed up your productivity with things, and then customize it from there. It's gonna really help out a lot. But you got this, Terada Wave. And thank you for subscribing to the channel. I Yeah, because I think I have this set up where people who can answer questions can need to subscribe. But yeah, thank you so much. All right, so now I'm getting confused on this. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use something similar to what I was already doing before. Income other. There's there's three different record types. There's the rent loss one, and this is the one for the rent loss one that I wanted to be able to check for the rent loss on this one. See, so I'm gonna just call that record type right here. Can I call it here? That's a question. I'm gonna have to run this as well to make sure it actually deploys and well, it actually runs. All right, so remove all this extra stuff, and that should run. All right, now I'm gonna deploy this. Actually, where I'm at. Okay, make sure I'm not in the wrong org. Oh, there's a big issue here. Some reason it doesn't like this. Oh yeah, because I put. Come on now, can't put that colon. Can't put a colon there, or a semicolon, I should say. All right, that was successful. Now I'm gonna run this baby. All right. I feel like another prompt should come up, but it didn't come up. Oh, there it is. Okay. Which one is it? Is the gross income in our pass? So I should have this set up where I can see my code coverage upon running this now, which is great. I do. And it's great. It is good. And I think everything passed. Yeah, everything passed. So sweet. That looks good. Now let's see. Let's see what the other stuff. Like some reason I don't see this. Like let me look into this file because like swear I don't see nothing. It said there's operating income, gross operating income hard coded. So gross operating income. There's there's a hard code piece in here. I don't see. Oh, there it is. Did I not save this? Now I'm super confused. Which one I just did? I just did this one. Did I not save this? What? Okay, I just added it here. I guess I didn't add it here. Okay, I see. where's all this reference? Cause all right, there's only one left. Okay, let me see if there's another record type in here. That's good. That's good. This needs to change. Some other. But yeah, also congratulations to Rada Wave for starting your coding journey 3 months ago. I would tell you this, it took me roughly around quite a bit of time. I'm trying to think when I got my first. My first big contract was after 2 years after my college. At the college, I'm gonna say. Actually, let me double check that. 2013, started trucking. Then I resigned roughly early 2014 trucking to start my entrepreneurship and contract stuff with software. Got my first contract 2015, boom, ended in 2016, January. So yeah, 2015. So roughly around, no. Yeah, almost roughly 2 years after graduating. I'll say like is a little bit under 2 years because it was like 1 year and then a couple of months, and then it would have been yeah. God dang, was it? It wasn't 2 years. It was probably 1 year and a couple of months because I graduated in May. May is the see. I'm really bad at months. May is the fifth month. June, yeah, May is the fifth month. So yeah, a year and 3 months. Took me a year and 3 months to get my first huge contract because it was only a contract, even though it's like a full time contract for 6 months as a software engineer. Then a couple of years after that, I got my full time software engineering job, but I was still doing little small contracts and learning on the way while I was going back and forth with trucking. Okay, where I'm at. So I need to deploy this again. Things like cash flow. Something. Can't remember. This is when. See, it's supposed to have like the object stuff, so I don't have to go to Salesforce to figure this out. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. As you can see, I'm just building out some stuff, checking out some stuff as well. So if you're new to the channel, you know you gotta be subscribed to ask questions in the chat. I really appreciate you guys. If you like the stream, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, you know, you can ask questions away. As you see, Tamara's on it. She is gonna let me know if things are going well in the stream. She's a moderator. You know, people put people in timeout if you if they get out of line, but also, you know, have really good fun conversations in the chat. You guys can help each other out while I'm building out stuff. I can answer your questions whenever you ask them. And let me know if you have any questions as you're going through this whole software development, software engineering journey. If you guys are new to Salesforce, this is Salesforce for the most part. Just looking at the data model for this particular piece, because I should be able to pull these things in fairly easily in my little auto completion piece, because I did a refresh of the definition of certain things, but I guess it didn't pull in all the fields, which doesn't make sense to me sometimes. So yeah, I wish that would be better. And what I'm coding in is Apex. If you guys are new to that, I like the best way I can describe Apex is that it's a combination between SQL, not SQL, but SQL and Java. It's essentially the same thing. I can write out queries and get data and all that stuff, join data together with like different queries like this. Then I can also write out classes and do inheritance and all the other great stuff. So it's probably one of the best programming languages out there, I think. What other programming language allows you to query directly on the database and get that data and then compile that, get all that data and compile it and then execute that class in a single transaction? It's like, yeah, there's so much complexity behind that, but somehow they make it happen. I want to run this because I think this was the method that I didn't have an assertion on. So I have assertions on all these other methods. Yep, looks like it's good. No failures. Yeah, that's great. All right, so that is good. What else do I have to do? Did that one already. Remove debug logs. I might just push wherever I have right now to see if this comes down lower. I'm not worried, like I said, I wasn't worried about these. I'm not worried about these at all. I'm just gonna leave these as it is. I'm just gonna say five violations, but these are the ones I want to correct. I want essentially zero. The goal is to get zero on all the Apex stuff. So let me do that. I'm gonna push my code. Deletion, deletion. Oh, that's fast. Remediate, remediate code files. Now, the moment of truth. If I get everything done with this might be the end of the night. Because tomorrow, I'm going to have really big things. I want to get my mind right in regards to it. So, just to give you a preview of tomorrow, what I'm trying to work on. What I'm trying to work on is after I, merge my release branch, this branch right here. All right, let me go to my home screen because I want to show you the scan that's happening as well. Because right now it's scanning. All right, so this is my release branch that I have that I want to merge into my main branch right here. So what I'm going to set up is a GitHub action. After it gets merged, it's going to push my changes to my packaging node, so I don't have to do that myself. And that's so ideal because most of the time when I'm done with a particular release, and if I'm working in a particular project as well, as like if I merge in the release branch, then I wanted to push to a certain org to just like send off the automation where I don't need to do anything in regards to it. And so far I've been really good with like the different components that I need for deploying my items. Like it just deploys straight. There's no errors or anything like that. My package XML is flawless. So yeah, I did it already multiple times. Well, two times so far, but I want to do it next time with automation. And it's kind of weird how this is working because I have Cumulus CLI on it. And at first, how I thought Cumulus should work is that I can just do everything from my VS Code and speak with like GitHub automatically and do all that great stuff like I was telling you about with one command. Because with Cumulus CLI, it has like these things I call flows, and these flows allow for multiple tasks to run in parallel or series and stuff. And the whole thought behind it is that it's like pretty much like a YAML script that is set up to get your credentials and then do all this awesome stuff that allow you to integrate with Salesforce and GitHub and just automate that process for you entirely. From I remember the other day, and from what I've seen with other repositories, is that Cumulus CI can be installed in your GitHub Action virtual machine container. And then you can run those commands to do whatever you need to do for that. And that makes sense now. Like it makes complete sense. I was like, what's the whole point of that? I guess Cumulus CI can do like the flow stuff that I was telling you about, run all those things in series, but one the GitHub action could do that as well. Just run the regular YAML and just run it a task at a time, or I forgot how it goes. Let me show you how my YAML is set up now for my GitHub action. So right now I have a YAML set up for pull requests on my main branch. I can, run that static analysis, which is the Salesforce code scan and analyzer. I can do it by pull request or I can do it manually. That's what that means. Then the jobs and other stuff, and then I have the steps that I want to use. So the first step is like, look at my repository, use my repository and use the root directory, and then go from there, install install the install the Salesforce DX CI, and then install the code scanner stuff right here. Then from there, run the scanner as well. So that's essentially how it works. I'm thinking I'm gonna create another YAML on deploying. So it's gonna be on push rather than on pull request to the main branch. And then I can also, manually do it as well too. I guess I don't know if I want to manually do it, but I add that option if it's a thing, right? I add that option to manually do it, which I don't understand that. Actually, no, it does. It makes sense now. If I want to manually deploy the changes from main, because if I do something like on the repository, so yeah, get out of place. But then from there, I guess I want to see if I can do this with just installing the Salesforce DX pieces, because I think that's all I really need. I don't really need to install the Q&CI stuff that I was talking about to do all that stuff, because I can have it set up right now. Have my project initialized for the Q&CI. Actually, where's the file? I don't see it. I think it's still on my release branch. Yeah, here it is. So still trying to figure this out. Like I know what this stuff does. If I run the task, I know what it does. Like it runs the scan for all of the test classes. I was like, God dang. I just want to run my, deal analysis app test classes. That's it. But it runs it for all the test classes in the org because you have to authenticate and all this other stuff with it. So I still have to figure this out, understand it better. Hopefully tomorrow I probably understand it better, see how I can integrate the whole GitHub action and Kubernetes CI stuff. Maybe I'll just do it purely just by the GitHub actions and just use purely YAML and do what I already did before, which is install the Salesforce DX and then run the DX commands, and then that be the end of it. But I definitely want to challenge myself and try to use the cumulative CI stuff as much as possible to see how that's gonna work out. So, all right, now let's look at my scan because I have my pull request. Oh, it's checked. It's successful. Now I don't have like a thing to stop, like a pull request from moving in yet. Oh, look at this. Look at this. All right, how many? All right, I have a great reduction. It's 20 findings reduction. What is talking about missing parameter? This is crazy. Or mismatch or something like that. What? Missing or mismatched parameter thing. All right, let's just check out one of them because this is absolutely crazy. This don't make no sense. Capital expenditures handler, line 13. All right, that's correct. That's oh. See, this makes no sense right now. This is correct. This is absolutely correct. I would completely ignore this, saying this is showing properly. Let me see if you've seen the same thing. But line, oh, it said line 13, right? Mismatch is definitely not mismatch. It's the same. Cold scan analyzer. See, like this be like a thing that comes up in like a client. Be like, yo, I see this particular thing that you say you're missing the parameter or whatever. Even though it's a warning, we kind of want to make sure like we want to clear that up. Like, how can we clear that up? Well, I'm gonna tell you how you're gonna clear it up. This is how you're gonna adjudicate it. It's actually working properly. It's showing there's a false positive, and yeah, this that's all it is. But I did reduce 20 findings from this particular category. So that's more than significant. And the other ones are false positives as well. Like this is a false positive as well, I'm pretty sure. This is what's gonna show up for line 37. Go back to the file again. Go to the scan. Line 37. Yep, showing it as a false positive. So these I'm not even gonna look at these. Actually, I do want to look at this one saying it's missing a comment. So operating handler at line 27. Oh, I did miss that. Good catch, good catch. You got me, you got me. All right, good catch. Oh, and I didn't even put the descriptions. How dare I? How dare I not put the descriptions here? All right. After this one, I'm gonna be done. Because tomorrow, like I said, it's gonna be the big stuff, the big boy stuff here. All right. Now, I'm gonna copy how I did all these other ones. So I could just say the name, right? Convention. All right, that's straight. So going back and making double checking, ensuring I have all of that done. Yeah, I think that's all good. So I'm gonna push this real quick. I don't know how I'm gonna suppress those other ones. It's talking about a mismatch because it's just a false positive. I wonder how that plays out and how you fix that. But it's good to me right now. Actually, let me come back and comment. All right, so this is Remediate operating expense documentation findings. All right, so looking pretty good. Now I'll go back to my thing. It's gonna do another scan. Yo, 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 DJ Foxy. You coming in just before I'm about to end this stream. I appreciate it. I appreciate it coming through. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, I was telling everyone, I was like a couple of people who came through and um Tarada Wave, a couple of things as well. So she was asking about like my experience at IBM when I was working like at one point for projects and how I got, you know, was I burned out with that. Hey, nah, man. Hey, yo, I get lost in the zone, man. Get lost in the zone. So if you're working on something, it's all good. It's gonna be a thing that we can always, review back and, check in on it, whatever. So it's all good. And as you know, there's plenty of other streams that I plan on doing in this building stuff series. So there's plenty more you can catch. But tomorrow's gonna be really awesome. I was talking about doing the whole piece where automating my deployment from my GitHub action to deploy my app to my package node. And yeah, that's gonna be like a really big thing to me. So once I do that, like that's gonna help me out and reduce the amount of like manual things I have to do. Cause usually when I'm done with like a particular release, I want to merge it to the main branch. And when it pushes to the main branch, I want to kick off a process to deploy that to the a sync org that I want all those changes to be deployed to. And that's the whole idea behind this. So hopefully I can, knock it out in one try. But pretty sure we're gonna have plenty of plenty of screw ups here and there. Well, yeah, project. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. What kind of project you working on, DJ Foxy? Mm-hmm. Well, this one takes a while. It should have probably already did some stuff already. I guess it's starting a job. Hmm. All checks. Oh, so it was doing it in the background. So like this is the third attempt for it, I guess. But it was doing some stuff in the background. I just didn't see it. And as you can see, at least we got the other one out of there. The one where it says missing comment. That's great. But all of these are false positives because there's definitely there. And I don't really care about this one too much. Do that as it is. And we did at first, at the very beginning of this stream, we had 35 violations on, six files. Actually, it was six files. And now we have 15 violations on five files. And all these other violations are false positive, it looks like. So, not worried about those. Well, this one isn't software related. Just say side mission. Doing art for a friend. Oh, sweet, sweet. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's so awesome. Yeah, get lost into that. Yeah, there's other things I do outside of coding as well. Like I do this one particular podcast where I talk about real estate investing and other financial stuff with a couple of buddy of mine from college. So yeah, I plan on sharing that pretty soon. One of the things I'm actually working on this month after that last episode was to do some more marketing in regards to it because right now there's only like two videos in there, but there's a video that I plan on posting in April before the 15th and get that out there because usually I wait roughly around 5 videos. And right now, the cadence for this particular podcast is on a monthly basis. So it's a visual podcast. It's on YouTube. I plan on sharing it pretty soon. That's the whole point of like this month was to do some more marketing in regards to it and get it out there, get the word out there. So yeah, now it's gonna be another thing that possibly I'll link with this channel that I will share. So I'm just trying to make sure I spruce it up because right now it's just very very rugged and really quick put together. I'm working on the branding aspect of it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so like I am building the real estate app. I actually I gave I gave access to this real estate app to a couple of them who are on the podcast. And so the whole idea behind it was not for the podcast specifically, it was mainly for my own purposes. So I'm actually working on the fix and flip functionality. I already got a good majority of the long term rental functionality, but I want to work on the fix and flip functionality because I think it's gonna be something I can get my head around now because since being on the podcast, I learned a lot of stuff about how how fix and flip stuff work and how to mediate my risks because I'm all about mediating and how to reduce my risk on investment stuff. Because at one point I did do day trading last year, and I always wanted to do day trading like as a as a as a dream of mine. And pretty much I succeeded at that dream. I did it. I didn't say I wanted to be successful, right? I wasn't successful. I lost like $200. It was really nothing really. I was playing around with like 2K, and but how it worked within the trading platforms, like it kind of like quadrupled my money, so I was using leverage. But I did it pretty right how I was working with it because I never like went all in because there's trading principles and all this other stuff and how to remediate your risk. You're not supposed to use more than like 5% on a particular trade. So I was using that, and I did pretty well at the very beginning of last year. I had like a $300 um plus like gain at one point, and I think I was doing great. But I didn't switch up my strategy from a long to a short sell strategy when the market was going down. I should have been, shorting particular stocks when the market was going down. I could have been, still making a profit. But it took some work. Like it took a lot of work for the most part. So now I'm just sticking. I might get back into it. I might get back into it because it's almost like a set and forget it kind of thing. You do your analysis the night before, and you see how you do your technical analysis and all that stuff. So for the most part, it's like you determine before you get in the trade. You look at the first couple of minutes, and if there's volumes and all that stuff. Is a whole bunch of different strategies in regards to it, but you look at like the the particular the particular assets or the particular trades that you want to get into. And, like the whole point, mitigate your risk, don't use more than 5% of your portfolio and all that stuff. I did that. And that's why I didn't have a huge loss. So a lot of people like they wipe out their whole account. Like I don't understand how they do that. When I start, getting below and start losing, which is, typical. You can lose. I did lose at the very beginning of the year, but then I got back up, and it had this like, wave cycle kind of thing. But then it just dropped and dropped, and I was losing my pattern because there's how you set your trades is you set like a lower limit and you set an upper limit, and that's the whole set it and forget it piece. Like you can set trades where you can do a stop out, and then you can set trades to do a a cash out at a particular limit that you want to set it at. You never get greedy. You just set your limits and all that stuff. Is that's how you can mitigate your risk. It's like those. That's one thing. Mitigating your risk by setting your upper and lower limit is always by a certain percentage, and you do your analysis in regards to when it should stop out or get pretty close to it, so it might jump up. Is a whole thing, but yeah, that's how you mitigate your risk, and also percentage of your account and all that stuff. You mitigate your risk that way too. So yeah, um, yeah, that might be another thing that I talk about on my real estate podcast YouTube channel. Right now, we're mainly focusing on real estate stuff right now because that's what a lot of people are used to. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, the sticking to your plan like is very important. You stick to a plan to see if that strategy and all that stuff works out. So that's that's the biggest thing. And yeah, making sure you do those things, because what happens is that's why a lot of people get wiped out. And I was doing paper trading before, and I thought I had like a really good strategy, but I should have been like, yeah, I would say things change sometimes, and it was this one particular investor that kind of like put into perspective after I went through this whole like, oh, I'm not that good at day trading piece, but this guy who's supposed to be better than Warren Buffett in regards to like return on your investment kind of thing. And like he was like he looked at particular anomalies of the market and see if it's like consistent and all these other things. And that's what if I really get back into it again, I'll probably have to look into that, because what happens is that people use similar strategies over and over again. There's some basic things that people usually do to do day trading, and they use them all over and over again. And in order to get out of that kind of like rat race of using other people, what other strategies that people are doing is, hey, what anomalies that are pretty consistent to make this happen? And I really want to bring up who's that person again. Godly, I'm trying to remember his name, but like I told you, he's supposed to be better than Warren Buffett in regards to a return on investment in regards to the stock market. Like he has his own firm and all this stuff, and somehow he he bypassed like all the other managed firms, and he's really great at it. And that's the thing that he did, is like he looked at something that consistently happened. It's like looked at the data. It's like, yo, this is happening at this particular time. Why is this happening? Well, if it's happening consistently, then I'm going to keep on doing it to take advantage of the market. All right, so it's not happening no more. Let me switch up my strategy to do that. I kind of want to get into that realms of understanding that if I see an anomaly, I know it, and like there's plenty of times when I saw an anomaly, it's like let me take advantage of it, and that's when I jumped up my account from like the 2000 to the 2300, and then like it's like a muscle. It's like, yeah, is you can definitely go really in depth into it. It took up a good majority of my time at night to do my analysis, but yeah, took a good majority of my time. Yeah. And then the whole psychology behind it too, that's a big thing too. The psychology plays into it as well. So yeah, I try not to look at news articles too much, but who really can't, who can really avoid doing just straight technical analysis? I've seen people say they can to be successful, but when you're doing when you're doing day trading, there's a lot of speculations in regards to it. Like recently, I think it was like AMC got went up like crazy amount because there was a whole thought behind Amazon possibly purchasing AMC, and it jumped like crazy. And I was like recently today, I want to say. So it's straight speculation. I mean, what other than Amazon acquiring another type of media company that is added to their assets books, but how's that really going to benefit them? I guess like I guess they can access like real estate that AMC has, and that real estate is really valuable. Um, but what was the biggest change that AMC? What the biggest thing that Amazon purchasing AMC? Like, what is the benefit of the business other than the real estate? So they might not be using it from a media standpoint and buying the movie theaters and all that stuff. They might just use it for, hey, AMC has really great real estate where they at, and we're gonna buy it up and turn it into something completely different. So Trading in the Zone, I heard is a pretty good book. Or yeah, I heard. Trading in the Zone. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. Yeah, because I took a whole course on Udemy to before I even start doing any trading, so I can understand like the different principles and the fundamental things about it. I'm really good at the fundamental analysis of a company, so like I wanted to see if I can do the technical analysis of a stock and be able to make money that way. Just as an extra thing, right? So I'm always thinking about different ways of diversifying my income. And if it's something I can do very easily, there's like early in the morning, set a trade, have it cancel at the end of the day, and then back out from that trade. Or if I make a profit, come in at a particular entry point, and then sell at a particular exit point. That's cool with me. It's like that only takes like a minute at the very beginning of the day. So yeah, I might get back into it one day. It's just right now is don't feel like it. Don't feel like it. But I think that's pretty much going to be the end of the stream. Thank you for coming through, DJ Foxy. I think I pretty much accomplished everything I needed to accomplish. Even though you see these little small little pieces, all of those things are false positive. I don't know what the heck the cold scanner is talking about with this. Is really a false positive. I have to really look into why this is the case, but it's good for me for now. I reduced it from 35 to 15, which is a really great delta of 20 violations reduction. And if I was to do this like on a particular project and actually work with like a client and tell them why this is happening, I'd tell them this is a false positive. Those are completely white. You can white those out. I might even remove this particular rule category in my rule set so it doesn't show because it clearly is a false positive. It's showing like I actually, you know, seen it for my eyes. The app parameters added in the description for the comments. So it's way off. All right. All right. All right. Uh let's see. Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be awesome. Like I definitely want to talk about my trading experience. I think that's gonna be a really cool thing um on my financial financial podcast thing that I'm doing on the side with a couple of brothers of mines. And so yeah. Hopefully one day, like I'm gonna put it out there because that's one of my goals this 30-day marking period. from the previous recording is that I wanted to do some more marketing. So I'm going to add it possibly as a feature channel once I get all the pieces and stuff set up where the marketing piece of it and show that to you guys. Just another facet to the Ronald and all the things he does. So yeah, that's gonna be really awesome. But I hope you know do great with your DJ Foxy with your art, with helping out your friend. It's always awesome to help out your friends. Actually, it'd be pretty tight. Hit me on Instagram or something. I want to see this art that you do. So yeah, it'd be really tight to see that art. Other than that, peace out, good night. Hopefully you're doing well. And also, good morning, good afternoon to anyone out there. Hope you guys are doing well. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. We're going to see more awesome stuff with the Building Stuff series. And, have a good one out there. Yeah. Appreciate you as well coming through. Take care. Appreciate you, DJ Boxy. All right, let me close out this stream.